Good morning, students. Sairam. Welcome back to the computer class. Continuing with our session on HTML, today we shall learn about the two main attributes of table tag. These two attributes are cell padding and cell spacing. So students, let's get started. There are two attributes called cell padding and cell spacing, which is used to adjust the white space in table cells. The cell spacing attribute defines space between table cells, while cell padding represents the distance between cell borders and the content within a cell. So students, cell spacing defines space between table cells and cell padding is distance between cell borders and the content within a cell. The attribute which sets the space in a cell between the content and peripheral boundary is named as cell padding. In other words, the distance between the content that a cell surrounds and the cell boundary is managed by cell padding attribute. The unit of this distance can be implied in pixels or percentage in HTML. Now, cell spacing is different than cell padding. It controls the distance between single cells in a table. By using this attribute, designers could easily alter the space between the edges of the different adjacent cells. So children, there is a major difference between cell spacing and cell padding. So what is this difference? Students, cell padding is spacing inside the columns or cells, while cell spacing is spacing outside the column or cells. I hope students you have understood the underlying difference between cell spacing and cell padding. Now let us execute these attributes practically. Start with the basic tags. The title of the program is cell padding and cell spacing. Open the table tag. Table border is equal to 1. Now TR stands for table row. The first row will have column headings, that is name, TH stands for table heading. Column headings are name, standard and division. Close the first row. Start with the second row. where TD stands for table data, here we will have 3 rows of data appropriate with the table heading, that is name, standard and division. After the second row data, close the table row and start with the third row. Now start entering the data for the fourth row. Close the table tag, body tag and HTML tag. Save the program and refresh it in the browser. The table which is displayed in the browser is without the attribute CellPadding and CellSpacing. Now we shall write the first attribute inside the table tag, that is CellPadding is equal to, in the double quotes, 5. Close the file and execute it. You can see the difference between the previous table and the present table. Now increase the pixel to 10 and see the difference. Now we shall execute the second attribute, that is CellSpacing. CellSpacing is equal to the double quotes 5. Save the file and refresh the browser. You can see the difference of CellPadding and CellSpacing. Here once again increase the pixel to 10 and execute it. So students, this was a simple program on the main attribute of table tag, CellPadding and CellSpacing. That's all for today. We shall continue with the session in our next class. Thank you.